Hey y'all, it's girl Millie Chun. I figured since you watched season 2 of Reasonable Doubt, I didn't get a chance to. This will be my first watch and this will be your review. Because season 3 comes out September 18th, so we can all get ready for it. That makes sense? We're not doing all them pictures. I'm just going to talk about it as I watch it. Let's go. So in season 1, Jax was kidnapped. She and Lewis were like really bad. They were on the outs. And Chanel had called her talking about she had unalived her husband. So we open up with season 2 with Lewis and Jax in bed. They're not bang banging, but they're getting it back together. She is in therapy. She's telling the therapist that she's doing all the things that she did before, but she doesn't feel guilt and it's coming to her with ease. And the therapist is getting ready to release her to go back to work. So then she gets ready to go running. Chanel calls talking about, I done unalived my husband. Jax gets over to the house. She gets in the back of the trunk. She pulls out her gloves. She gets some shoe covers. She goes in the house. A little PTSD sets in because old boy had unalived himself in front of her. So when she saw Chanel's husband laying down, she kind of went back to that. She was kind of breathing. She got it together. And then the police kind of shook her back into place. So she said that she was Chanel's sister and she needed to get to Chanel. Child, when she get over there to Chanel, Chanel has marks on her neck. She has, dark and like she has been done over by her husband. And she explained to Jax what happened. She was getting ready to leave him for real this time. She was going to take the kids. And one thing led to another, and he is out. Right? So after that, she told them that she was going to take care of it, and that's exactly what she did. So once Jax gets the ambulance, the photographer squared away that's trying to take pictures of Chanel. Chanel is worried that her children are going to find out. She does not want them to find out. And Jax is going to handle that. But she has to go to the hospital. Then Jax goes outside to call Lewis to tell him what's happening. He over there acting slow, like, sir, can you comprehend right now? I'm going through a lot. So she's breathing erratically and she's on her way to the hospital. So Chanel is at the hospital and the friends show up. They won't let the friends in the room. And then eventually Jax goes in the room at the right time because Chanel is being asked questions by the police without a lawyer being present. So once she comes in the room, Chanel says she's my lawyer, which kind of shakes Jax up because she's like, hold up. I just got released. I'm not ready to go on duty right now. But it's her friend, so what is she going to do? So we've made it to the hospital. The doctor is examining Chanel and letting the police know what's going on with her. All while Jackson's outside having a panic attack. By then, the friends walk in and then they want to go and see Chanel. Well, they won't let them talk to her, so they come back outside. So Chanel is out there trying to catch her breath. And then when she realizes that they won't let anybody talk to her, then Jax goes in the room with Chanel. And good timing because the police are asking her questions. She stops that and she lets them know that, she needs to rest and she'll be able to. First of all, did y'all ask, did she have a lawyer? Right? And she lets them know she'll be able to answer y'all questions later on, but she got to get some rest. And she lets Chanel know that this is very serious and you don't need to talk to anybody. Then she goes back outside and she says, I got to go home. So when she gets home, Lewis has picked the kids up. He has filled a prescription, and he is really there for her, right? And then she kind of picks herself up and she realizes that I got to get some stuff ready for Chanel. So Lewis is upset, and she was like, what am I supposed to do? My friend is having one of the worst days of her life. Then Lewis says, you are having one of the worst days of your life, right? So then he's like, well, did you forget about couples therapy? She was like, dang, because now she's back in that mode. And she was like, to keep it 100, I was doing both anyway. So then he says, you know what? I'm getting ready to go. So then she's like, so you're not staying all night? He said, I want to be here. But the way you're acting is the reason I'm not. Sir, buck up. So Jack smokes a half a box of cigarettes and gets ready and goes into the office. So she's very glad to see her staff. And then she goes into the big staff meeting. And they're happy that she's back. And she lets them know that she's going to be going over the Tucker case. And she will also want to scale back a little bit so she can spend more time with her family. Her boss is like, "You've been cleared. So what is this?" So she said, "I'll let you know as it goes." So she gonna have to go back to work. So Jax goes to a colleague to see how it is on that side of the case. And she's talking about Chanel's case being like self defense. And he's saying if that's what we gather, then that's what it will be. So after that, she goes to a juice bar to get her something to eat. Lewis shows up. She lets Lewis know that it's not going to be more than a week with Chanel's case. So she says, "I'll grab a table and you go get your juice." Because he wants to, try to get it back together. But then her assistant calls and says that Chanel didn't call the police for 2 hours after he was unalived, and she moved the body. So now, of course, Jax has gotten her lunch and she's walked out the door, and Lewis is sitting at the table looking crazy. Honey, I know y'all already know about this, but it looks like Chanel gonna be in a little trouble because now Jax is over here talking about the inconsistencies in her story. Like she told the police she called 911 and then she called Jax. And then now she's telling Jax she called her first. Then they found out that she didn't call anybody for 2 hours. And then that she moved the body. She said she didn't move the body, she just rolled him over to see if he was breathing. So this is not good. So now Jax is late to the therapy session, right? Not only is she late, but then she sits down and tells them that she's going to have to leave early. So now her and Lewis are going back and forth. The counselor is like, "Do y'all want to be together or do y'all want to get a divorce?" They say they want to be together. So he says that's good that y'all are doing this tongue tussling back and forth because there's something to fight for in your marriage. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't know about Lewis. I don't think Lewis can handle a woman like this, right? Because he basically gave her an ultimatum. Do you want to be a wife or do you want to be a lawyer? Like, how is she supposed to answer that question? You want me to quit my job to be your wife and do what? So Chanel has been picked up and she's charged with first-degree unaliving, right? Jax has just found out and also found out that there's someone new on the case. That lady who said that her DA friend couldn't have a donut. And so this is going to be an uphill battle for Jax, not only with Chanel, but also with Lewis, because now she's really on the case and she really going to have to put in some work. So Lewis comes in, he finds Jax on the patio, finishing up her box of cigarettes. He asks about the case. She lets him know that she's not going to be able to do it, right? She's going to choose herself. And she also says she's going to choose them. So he asked, "Does she have anybody in mind?" She said, "No one in her office." And then the next scene cuts to Morris Chestnut. He has entered the building. So I'm excited to watch episode 2. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, if this is something you want to see, and I will continue. It's your girl, Millie China. I'll talk to you later.